Hey everybody, so welcome to my first video diary for my Young Women Feminist Leadership Academy practicum. My practicum is all about the ways that I see feminism and societal expectations kind of surrounding me in my everyday life and the way that those impact who I am and how I act and what I do. And so for my practicum, I have chosen to pick a project or something to focus on or think about every week and see how I see it in the world around me and how I feel that it plays out in my life and how it impacts what I do and who I am, and then make a video diary about it at the end of each week to kind of share with you guys what I have experienced about myself and maybe make you guys think about how you see it in your life and you think more about yourself. So my first week was this past week, and I chose to experiment with wearing absolutely no makeup all week. And to give you a little background, I wear very, very minimal makeup on an everyday basis. So it was not a huge stretch for me, but in some ways it was very different than I expected. I thought it wouldn't be too much of a problem, and it wasn't a huge problem, but it was a strange experience. There are so many different ideas about how much makeup young girls should wear. And honestly, it's nobody's business but your own. You should wear what makes you feel good and what you feel comfortable in. And some people think, wearing makeup, that's like being ashamed of who you are. You should just accept your own skin and your own body and not be self-conscious. But we are self-conscious. It's just who we are, and we should try not to be, but it can be hard. So I think, you do what you feel comfortable with. If you want to wear a ton of makeup just because it's fun or because it makes you feel good or makes you feel beautiful, do it. If you don't like to wear it because you don't feel comfortable doing it, don't do it. It's totally up to you. But for all intents and purposes, I was just curious what my life felt like without makeup on, because it's just, honestly, whether we like to admit it or not, it plays a large role in our lives, how much makeup we wear. And I was just curious what it was like to not have that with me at all times. And there are people walking by my window and giving me some weird looks, but whatever. So basically what I did is, it's a pretty simple concept. I just didn't wear makeup all week. But anytime I was kind of having thoughts about it or just kind of, notice something, I wrote it down. And so that's kind of what I'm going to try to do. I'm going to think about something for the week or try something out, do a little experiment, and I'm going to write it all down so that I have it all here to kind of share with you guys. So basically, I actually noticed something the very, very first day that I didn't wear makeup. But first of all, I want to say nobody commented on it. Like I said, I don't wear a lot of makeup generally, so it wasn't a huge change. But I kind of expected somebody to be like, hey, are you not wearing makeup, or are you wearing makeup? I have a friend who almost never wears makeup. She does occasionally, like on special occasions, and sometimes she just feels like it and she puts a lot on, but just kind of on a general basis, she's very, very pretty, and she doesn't need to put on makeup at all. Nobody really does, but she just doesn't. And so it's noticeable when she does wear makeup because it's such a vast difference. But I just never really wear that much makeup, so I was kind of curious to see whether or not people would notice, and people didn't really notice. I didn't have a single person say, oh hey, you haven't been wearing makeup, or oh hey, you look different, or anything like that. Nobody said I looked better, nobody said I looked worse. It was pretty much the same, which made me, it doesn't mean people weren't thinking things, but it made me realize, okay, maybe people don't notice. And I think makeup is less for other people and more for just yourself. And that's totally fine. You shouldn't be doing anything for other people. You should be doing it because it pleases you and it makes you feel good. But anyway, on the first day, on Monday, this was the week of homecoming, which meant we had spirit days, and since I'm on student council, I had a bunch of stuff that I had to do to kind of prepare for homecoming, which was last night. And then the night before that, we had some other activities. And honestly, it was kind of a special challenge to go through homecoming week with no makeup, because I went to a homecoming, which is a dance, and it's a fairly casual dance at our school. No one really dresses up. But I was, seeing a lot of people and kind of interacting in that environment. And most people, get a little bit nicer or put on makeup at least for something like that. And so that was strange for me to go into something like homecoming wearing no makeup. That was kind of weird. It wasn't that bad, but it was just strange. But anyway, Monday, first day of me wearing no makeup. First of all, it's great. I got to sleep in 5 minutes later. It doesn't take me a very long time to put on makeup, but still that 5 minutes was great. I'm so sleep deprived. I love an extra 5 minutes. But you know, I just looked at my makeup and I was like, nope, not doing it today. And I walked out the door. It was not an issue. And I got to school and honestly, I completely forgot about it. I was not self-conscious. I felt the exact same as I normally feel when I wasn't wearing makeup. And it was nice to feel that way, you know, to feel like, I can kind of do it or I can't do it, and it doesn't really matter either way. People don't comment, I don't feel different. It was interesting. But around lunchtime, I went to the bathroom, and obviously there were mirrors in the bathroom, and that was the first time that I had really looked at my face that day, you know. I just don't look at my face all that much. So, and I looked in the mirror, and this is kind of the weird thing that just really kind of opened my eyes, and I'm actually really glad that it happened at the beginning of the week, because it just gave me this great sense of confidence. Because I looked into the mirror and I thought, wow, I'm pretty. And I don't want that to sound conceited or anything like that, and I don't think it is, and I don't think anyone should feel that way, acknowledging that they find themselves pretty or attractive or whatever. But it was just interesting. I was like, wow, I like my eyes. I like the way my face looks. I am an okay looking person. And to feel that way, you know, every day that I wore makeup and looked in the mirror, I almost never think that to myself. I never really think, I look pretty. And if I did, I might be like, oh, well, I'm wearing makeup, you know? But on a day that I wasn't wearing makeup, I looked in the mirror and I felt pretty. And that was really surreal and strange and not what I was expecting to feel at all. And I wasn't studying my face in the mirror thinking, am I pretty? Am I not pretty? I just, it was like I passed by the mirror and I kind of was like, hey. It was an observation, and it was just weird to feel that way, especially on a week when I was trying to kind of alter my appearance in some way. That was really eye-opening. I looked in the mirror and I saw the same face that I've been seeing for 16 years, but I saw it totally differently, and that sounds totally cliche. And so kind of going through this whole week, I was having that feeling. Just knowing that me not wearing makeup didn't make me any less pretty. And, I don't feel unattractive. I don't think I'm an unattractive person. I don't really think anybody is an unattractive person. And I have, I'm lucky enough to have, fairly good skin that I don't feel like I really need to like cover up all my imperfections, and I just, I've been able to kind of get through life without feeling like I need to put all this stuff on my face. And so this might not be how everybody feels, but my personal experience is that I just felt pretty. And that was great. And, towards the end of the week, Thursday, Friday, I was going to all these social events, and it was sometimes kind of hard. I was getting ready to go out and I felt like I should have been kind of getting dressed up, and I kind of wanted to, part of the reason that I like to wear makeup is it's just fun. It's just kind of fun to experiment with different stuff on your face, and I don't know, I think that's kind of a girl mentality. A lot of us really like to just kind of experiment with it, and I kind of missed that in my life, but I didn't feel bad leaving the house without makeup. I think that's liberating, not to feel like you have to do this certain thing before you leave the house. That's just great. I can do it, I cannot do it, doesn't matter. But Thursday, Friday were hard, going to all these social events, and, I felt a little bit more self-conscious there than I had just like at everyday school. But in general, I don't feel like I have that much to say, because honestly, it was just a normal week. But in some ways, I feel like that's really important and really powerful to notice that it was the same. It didn't feel super different. I had expected to feel self-conscious a lot of the time. I had expected people to comment on it. I had expected to just feel completely different, like a whole different person. Because, most days I wear makeup, I thought it would feel completely different, but it didn't. And I just think that's a really interesting experiment. So I think it's it would be good for a lot of people to just try it out. I mean, you could do it on summer break on a week where you're not seeing a lot of people and you just kind of want to see if you feel different. Or maybe you want to do it and go full out and try it on a day when you're gonna be seeing a bunch of people and like go to prom with no makeup. I don't know. My point is, it was interesting and it made me feel closer to myself because I felt more at home in my body, knowing that I'm perfectly fine with or without it. And you know, on Monday I'll probably start wearing makeup again. I probably won't keep going without makeup. But if there's a day that I'm like running super late and I'm like, well, I could eat breakfast or I could put on makeup, I'm gonna eat breakfast. I could skip makeup. It doesn't matter. And I think that's awesome. That's so what I wanted to happen. That's not how I expected it to happen. I thought I would kind of have to come to terms with it, and I thought it would be a big struggle, and it wasn't. But that's so great that it didn't have to be this big struggle. So thanks for watching, and I will see you guys on my next episode, video diary, the thing.